got it by osmosis, though, didn't you? All that stuff. You know, I think having an older sibling to.
Yeah, two older siblings, and I remember because I was little, you know, not little, but not able to go out and do those things. But I remember putting those records on. You know, I remember Atmosphere by Joy Division. I remember Mighty Real by Sylvester. I remember Ceremony by New Order.
Yeah.
And Mark was big on reggae. You know, so
wow.
It was just great. You know, and he was a big Beatles fan and big Beach Boys. And, you know, so it was all. I used to listen to them all the time.
What an education!
It was an education, and I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah. So what was your leap then? What was the thing from listening to becoming?
Well, I was a mod girl, you know, so Jane listened to the Jam and things, early Jam, and then I was kind of setting suns and later Jam, and I remember ordering, was it Going Underground? It was the first record I ever pre-ordered, going to get it, you know. And I didn't know I wanted to be a singer. You know, when you're in a working men's club, they're always trying to get you, if your mum and dad run the place, you know, they're always trying to get you to sing, and it's horrific. They're the most terrifying.
Come on, love, show me the way to go.
Come on, love, go. Oh, she's rubbish, she is. You know, and it's awful. You would never do it again if that was your only experience. But I went to London, and I was 17. I was just dying to get out of Red Carpet. Like, just get away from this place, you know. And I had some friends who had a band, friends of friends. I don't even think they were friends. And they were like this kind of proto-boy band. They were called Physique. And the claim to fame was that the drummer was Andrew Ridgeley's brother. And I remember being at one of their houses, and they said, "Oh, this is Andrew's new record," and they put it on, and it was "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go," and it was like the demo of it, and it was like, oh, it's amazing.
On an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, no, it was like, I don't think it was the demo. I think it was the sort of. No, it was the thing, you know, and everyone was, oh, they're amazing, aren't they? But Physique were pretty terrible. And they were friends with like Curiosity Killed the Cat and all those guys. And we used to go to these clubs in Kensington, and hang out with Ben and the guy, you know. And they said, well, we need a backing vocalist for this track. And they were demoing for Polydor. Okay. I don't think Polydor it doesn't exist anymore. And so they said, come along. And it was somewhere central London, Bond Street, I think it was. It was this little studio, and you went down. And I went into the booth and I put these headphones on, and you know, they said, is it loud enough in the headphones? And then I was singing backing vocals, and I heard my voice back, and I was just like, OMG, you know, this is it. This is the best thing ever. Right. And I think that was it. And I got sacked from that band because I told the singer his lyrics were too flowery. And his girlfriend sacked me. Yeah. But then, from then on, I met Steve, and I had a record deal. No, before I met Steve, I had a record deal. I answered those ads in the back of the Melody Maker. You know,
what did it say?
It said, producer needs singer for jazz pop project or something. And it was all like Matt Bianco and all those bands were around. And I wrote an album with this guy called David Quinn, who to me seemed incredibly old. I think he was probably only about 35, but he seemed like ancient.
Yeah, but when you like...
I was 18, you know. Yeah. And we got signed to CBS, which is now Sony. Yeah. And we got a massive album deal. And we made this record. And Paul Daly, and what happened was David Quinn, sorry, I probably shouldn't say his name even. I haven't seen him or spoken to him ever since. But he was older, and we didn't really get on that well, you know. We sort of made these record tracks together, we wrote them together. But I was young, and we were hanging around Kensington Market and all those guys, and Paul Daly was a hairdresser at from left field, was
Yeah, yeah.
a hairdresser in Kensington Market, and there's another guy called Derek, and they were cool, you know, they were the cool guys and the fun scene, and they played with the bands, you know, that we made. We were called the Espresso 7.
That's a really good jazz name.
It's awful, isn't it? And we, you know, we'd do these gigs at the Wag Club or wherever, and because they were incredibly popular people, dozens of people would come, you know, and it would be the equivalent of like the hipster crowd, you know, they were the coolest people.
Peterson and Eddie Pill,
Giles and everybody were there, you know, and so we, at one point, Muff Winwood from CBS.
Yes, I know Muff.
Yeah, you know Muff.
Yeah. Tell you a story about that later.
Oh, cool. He wanted to see us play live, and when there was this little Latin club called the Soli Sombre, and it was so packed that he couldn't get in, and he had to stand on a stool behind the bar to be able to see us, you know. And so this was sort of clinched our record deal, and we signed this record deal. But David only wanted the two of us, me and him, to be signed. But the guys went on a sort of retainer.
Right, okay.
And I went on a holiday for a week, and when I came back, he'd sacked them all. Yeah.
Right.
And it just, in my little 19-year-old brain, this seemed like a terrible, tragic injustice. So I split up with him before the album was ever released.
But you were in the right place at the right time, weren't you?
Yeah, and I just had this idea that it's fine, record deals are sort of 10 a penny. Major record deals. Yeah. You can get one like that.
They sort of were though then, weren't they?
They were a bit more 10 a penny, yeah, but it, you know, perhaps, you know, with sort of sober reflection, I might have thought it just seemed wrong to me, because they were instrumental in creating that atmosphere.
Yeah, well, I was going to say
that led you to the deal.
That seems like a really loyal, value-based thing to do, doesn't it? You know, I mean, that's fair play.
Loyal, value-based, and incredibly stupid.
Well, you know, 10 a penny record deals.
And so it took another 6 years before I got a record deal, another proper record deal.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But we signed to Acid Jazz.
Yeah, when you're younger though, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, you don't care.
No, you don't.
You don't care. It just seemed wrong to me, and I just went with it. But yeah, there are moments where I think, you know, if only I'd just gone with that, I would have been famous when I was 19, and then I would have lived on that forever.
Surely that's not a regret. Is it a regret?
Regrets? No.
No.
Je ne regrette. No, it's not a regret.
This is a psychotherapy.
No, I don't regret.
Because it's really intimate, I think it's always really nice to find out from people who are sharing this with us if there's any questions. So I'm going to open the floor up to questions for Sally. I saw a hand go up over there. Is that? Oh, yeah.
She just touched her hair.
Sally, what hair products do you use?
I don't. Sorry. No, I'm not good with them really.
Are you not?
No.
Me neither. Has anybody got a question?
I call.
Right. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. Go on.
Do you think you'll ever perform as Mancore and do those songs?
Yeah, that's strange. We were talking about this earlier on, because we do talk about it.
Or
No, we have a few mates who are endlessly lobbying us to do it, you know, and it's not that we wouldn't, and we're a bit nostalgia resistant.
Why?
I don't really know. I think it's that thing, you just always want to be moving forward, and you don't want to be kind of living in the past.
And yet here you are in a bar in Leeds that is directly inspired by things that happened.
Yeah, there's no escape. You just got to surrender yourself to it, haven't you?
So next summer then?
Well, I was talking to Jane and Joel about this earlier, and one of the reasons that incident I told you about in the early noughties with Pagan Records was difficult, I suppose, was because if you make the sort of music that we make as A Man Called Adam, that is lyric-based, emotional, indie pop music, you really need somebody behind you in order to take that out on the road and things. You need a good label, you need a good manager, you need some money. And if we wanted to tour again as A Man Called Adam, it would have to be a bit of a greatest hits set. I don't think anybody would let you do anything less. Greatest non-hits.
And are you averse to that?
No. You know, I think it would be great fun, but we would have to either invest some of our own money in putting a band together, rehearsing, and it's just the sort of logistics of it, really. It's like you would have to put aside a year or two of your life, you know, and say, okay, I'm gonna commit to this, and I'm gonna rehearse for 2 months, and then we're gonna go on the road, and we're gonna do 20 rubbish gigs before we do 100 good gigs, and that would be 2 or 3 years of your life, you know. But I don't know. I suppose we're a little bit like, is there any demand for it? Is there any demand for it? I don't know. Or are you just one of those sad bands who are sort of reforming to pay your tax bill? You know, that's what we're resistant to.
Absolutely.
That's what we're resistant to. It's like, I'll pay my tax bill somehow. I don't need to go and, you know, flog my old records to do it. But actually, in that context, to have a lovely band and revisit those songs and play them beautifully, you know, with some great progressive jazz interludes, that would be great.